Okay, so I got, what I did is I broke it into 4 cases. So heads only, tails only. So, sorry, heads only means we got the 4 heads. Tails only means we got the head, tail. Both and none. So these are my counting ones. So we didn't get either heads or tails. Okay, so I'm going to run it 20 times with 20 flips. That's what the...
10 times with 20 flips.
Oh, sorry, 10 times with 20 flips, yeah. Okay. And I actually didn't really know how to do this in Mathematica. My guess is there's actually a pretty easy way. So I just made 20 random integers, 0 and 1. Ones were heads, zeros were tails. Then I didn't know, there was a function called count that counted patterns. But the patterns had to be exactly like this. In other words, it had to be a list of 4 in a row. So what I had to do is once I made my table of 20 flips, I had to make a table of 17, 1, 2, 3, the 17 4s in a row. And so that was my table. And then I counted, did I get how many all heads did I get and how many heads and a tail did I get.
All right.
Okay, and so then if, working through this, if the head count is greater than 0, in other words, I got more than one of those, and the tail count was greater than 0, then what was that?
That's both.
That's both. If the head count was greater than 0 and the tail count equaled 0.
That's just their 4 heads.
Heads only. Head count was 0, tail count greater than 0.
That's the 4 heads and a tail. Or 3 heads and a tail.
Yeah. And then head count 0, tail count 0.
That's nothing.
It's nothing, okay. So then I just, at the end, I'm going to print out how many times I got both runs, heads only, tails only, neither. And again, heads only is the 4 heads, tails only is that. And, okay, when I ran it 10 times, I got both runs 5 times, heads only 0 times, tails only twice, neither 3 times. But that doesn't really tell me too much. So how many times do you want to run it?
We can do it, I guess, 100 times.
All right, 100 times. Okay, let's go down. Both 46, heads only 3 times, tails only 33 times, neither 18 times. So the percentage where the heads run, just about half. Percentage where the tails run,
A little more than 3/4.
a little more than 3/4.
So it looks like the tails is more likely.
Okay. And tell you what, let's run it like 100,000 times.
All right.
Just so we eliminate any statistical problems. 100,000 times ought to be enough to tell us, but we'll run it twice with 100,000 to make sure there's not a lot of variation. So both runs 45,000 times. Actually, you know what? Let me zoom in a little bit more on this so we can be 100% sure it's readable. Both runs 45,802. Heads only 2,228. Tails only 28,667. Neither 23,000. So the percent that had a heads is about 48%. Percent that had a tail, about 75%. So about half, about 75%. Okay, let's run it a second time just to make sure there's not a lot of variation. Make sure we get roughly the same numbers.
Yep.
All right.
A little less than a half, a little less than 3/4, it looks like, after 10.
Okay, so in the game, if we get both of them, what's the payout? Net payout?
No payout.
No payout. Heads, here, so this is who you wanted to be, and this is who I wanted to be. Then. Alright, so now, do you have any thoughts why, first of all, why do we see so many that have both of them?
Well, we're flipping 20, so I guess we're seeing...
Oh, actually, you know what? Tell you what, let's move to a second video for this with the computer.